Oh, okay, that's fine.
There we go.
Second, if you look down, you'll see Ulises with his trainer Stephanie down on the stage. Now, Yuli is working on something called tones. So you're going to hear a tone that kind of sounds like a phone ringing at some points. We also have many different tones with different noises that happen. Kind of tells the whales what to do from under the water. So we can work on lots of different things with these guys. We try to keep it very variable for them. So what that means is we just try to do different things with them every single day. So we have 8 whales total here at SeaWorld San Diego. This is just one of 8. This is Ulises. He's 44 years old, pretty old for a killer whale. And then we have 5 pools here in our area. So this pool that you're looking at right now is just one of 5. This is where we do our orca encounter. We have one at 2 o'clock today and at 6 o'clock. But we also do many different things with the whales as well. So one of the things we do, which is what Stephanie's doing down there with Ulises, is a training session. So the whales do lots of different things with us when we train them. We can start from scratch. These guys have all been here for a very long time, all 8 whales. So they're kind of trained up on a lot of the different things that we do here in the area. But that doesn't mean that we can't train new things. We can also do many different types of sessions, so they do have time to rest throughout the day. We also do our dine with killer whales, but we also do doing something kind of in that back pool, or we have that underwater viewing area as well. They can also have learning time. We can have playtime with the whales. We actually have whale-sized toys here. Let me see if I can see any from here. They're really, really big. The whales are obviously very big. They're apex predators. They can weigh over 10,000 pounds. Ulises here is just about 10,000 pounds. So we need to have very sturdy toys for them to play with. We can also utilize jello, ice, snow even for the whales. It's all about finding those different things to reinforce them with. How many of you guys have pets at home? Wow, okay. Have you guys ever tried to train them anything? Yeah. How about like a sit? Let's say you want to train your dog how to sit. How would you do it? Ooh, yeah, I heard you. That's a good one. What else? Yeah, exactly. Good job, you guys. So that's all positive reinforcement. If you want to train your dog to sit, you can utilize some tools. Maybe you use your hands to kind of guide the butt down to the floor. There's lots of different ways that you can train an animal, but it all comes down to that positive reinforcement. Check out Ulises here in the center. So that's what we do with our whales here, positive reinforcement. It's really, really important. Also building our relationships with the whales is going to be really important. Just like how we build relationships with our friends and family, same thing with the animals here. That's really important with training and really everything that we do with these guys here. Now check out that gigantic pectoral flipper on Ulises down there. He's waving at you guys. If you were to x-ray that pectoral flipper, you would see 5 finger-like bone structures in there. It looks very similar to the human hand. However, if you were to look at their tail flukes or their dorsal fin on their back, there are no bones in that structure at all. There's also no muscle, so that's why the dorsal fin can kind of curve over like that. So imagine if your ear was 6 feet tall. That's how tall the killer whale's dorsal fin can get. So it's only cartilage tissue in there. So if your ear was 6 feet tall, imagine gravity just pulling on it. It's going to eventually kind of slope over like that. So that's why you see the male killer whales with the really large dorsal fins, like Ulises, that can kind of slope over. The females, you don't see it as much. So right here we have Kalia. She's actually the matriarch of our pod. She is one of our females here. So she has a very small dorsal fin, very short, straight up and down. She's going to slide out onto the stage for you guys. Check her out. Much smaller than Ulises, right? She looks tiny in comparison to Ulises. So both Ulises and Kalia are fully grown. But the females are always going to be a little bit smaller. Their pectoral flippers are going to be a little bit smaller as well. Same with the dorsal fin. And another way you can tell Kalia specifically apart is by those freckles on her eye patch. So the whales have those white eye patches. They are not their eyes. I used to think that when I was a little kid. But those are actually camouflage. So it helps them when they're hunting. Their prey is going to go for those eye patches instead of going for their eyes, which are right in front of those white eye patches. Let's see what Kalia is going to do for us here. Now she's using her tail to propel herself through the water. They can swim about 30 miles per hour. And now look at the center of the pool. Here she comes. Beautiful. So they're very athletic. Specifically, some of our female whales are very high flying. Kalia being one of them. She's very energetic. We also have Porky here. She is kind of a legend here at SeaWorld. She's 58 years old. And she is still one of our highest flying, most energetic animals. Alright, now Caitlin has just asked Kalia for a pretty cool behavior. She should be doing 2 behaviors in 1. So let's see if she can do it. She should wiggle her pectoral flippers and do a jump at the same time. Let's see if she does it. There they go! Beautiful! So the whales are very, very smart. Everything that we do with these guys, it's all kind of like sign language. So we communicate with our hands with them. Many different listen to me, signals that make up a language that we kind of use to communicate with them. We don't use any verbal language with them at all. But we do have our whistle, which you guys might hear today. It's very high pitched. It basically tells the whale that they did the correct behavior and to come back for that reinforcement. Here she comes again. Check out the center. Right? They're really impressive animals. Like I said before, apex predators, meaning they have no natural predators. There's nobody out in the ocean that wants to eat a killer whale. Lucky for that. However, humans are unfortunately their biggest predator, so to speak. So due to pollution, trash in the ocean, and overfishing, there has been kind of a push towards the orcas, unfortunately out there in the open ocean. So hopefully you guys will learn a little bit about these animals today, and they will encourage you and inspire you to want to help their wild ocean counterparts out there in the wild. Alright, now if you see Caitlin down there on stage, she's got a white pole. You guys see it? That is a target pole. So that's a really cool tool for us to use with the whales. So there's a little bead at the end of that pole, and the whales can be trained to touch the bead, and then you can kind of guide their bodies using the tool. So let's see what Caitlin is asking Kalia. She's asking her to wiggle her little pectoral flippers, and then bringing that pole underneath her to get her to do that spinning motion. So this is kind of like the beginning stages of a behavior. So a lot of people ask us how long does it take to train something. It really depends on the behavior. It depends on the whale and on the trainer. So some of the smaller behaviors, they can take 1 day even to train something small. Some of the bigger, more complex behavior might take months to train. Center of the pool again. So that black and white coloration, we kind of talked about camouflage a little bit earlier. Their colors are for that camouflage. It helps them out there in the wild to hunt. So their black back is going to blend in with the murky ocean bottom, and their white bellies are going to blend in with the surface of the water where the light shines through. So imagine if you're a seal out there swimming along, you're looking down on the whales and you're very difficult to see them, or if you're looking up at them with the light coming down, again, pretty difficult to see them as well. As well. Beautiful! I know, fun, right? Wish you could do that, don't you? So the whales have a very, very large repertoire, as we call it. They know many different behaviors. Kalia knows like hundreds of behaviors. And again, they've all had to be trained from scratch, which is pretty cool. And that relationship that we build with the whales is kind of like the first step to that. So when we start here, we all kind of hang out with 1 or 2 whales to begin with, build up that relationship, and then you can start training and interacting with them a little bit more every day. Now, play is a really important part of building that relationship. So sometimes if you see us out there on stage, try to just play with the whales. Just like you play with your dog or cat at home, it's really important for the whales as well. So they have their playtime, they have their rest time, training time. Did you guys hear her little vocalization there? So all of those vocals actually come from the hole on top of their head. It's their blowhole. It is where they breathe from, but they also vocalize from there as well. It's got muscles all around it that can kind of contract in and then open. So imagine having a balloon and putting air in the balloon and then kind of letting it out at the end. That's kind of how they make their vocalization. So it's just a big muscle. Yeah, so I got a question, do the older whales kind of mentor the younger whales? The answer is yes. So typically, back when we used to have the whales breeding more often, some of the older, more matriarchal whales would kind of swim with the pregnant female to kind of help her out with that. So they can mentor, they can teach each other things, they learn a lot through mimicking and imitation. So sometimes one whale will know behavior, and then they can kind of, the other whale can kind of look and bounce off of them and kind of figure out the behavior by looking at that. So they're really, really smart. Yeah. Very impressive. The question is, do they ever talk to us and can we understand? So our job as behaviorists is to kind of understand their body language. We can't exactly know what they're saying when they vocalize, but we can kind of read their body language, and we have enough experience with seeing what happens after certain vocals and stuff like that, that we can use our best judgment. But we don't know exactly. That would be really cool if I could know exactly what they were saying, but we can kind of just use our behavioral judgment. Yeah, they do talk to each other with their vocals. They use vocals towards us as well, but it'd be really cool if I could understand them. Good question. If you guys have questions, please feel free. I'm just walking around down here. All right, let's see what else Caitlin's got going on with Kalia down on stage. All right, if you take a look towards the center, right where I'm standing, Kalia should be popping up here in just a second. Hey, hello. So I mentioned earlier that Kalia is the matriarch. All pods of killer whales have a matriarch. It's a female, older killer whale that kind of leads the pod. So what Kalia says goes. She is the smallest whale, but size doesn't matter. Kalia is still in charge as that smallest female. She does have a brother who's around the same size as her. He's only 10 years old, so he's got a very long way to go. They don't typically hit maturity until they're teens. So he will be a lot larger in the next few years, which will be really cool to watch. So I mentioned earlier that we have 5 pools here. This is one of 5. So that gate over there, I don't know if you guys can see all the way on the right,